So I always start with the governance stance, because if we think about long-term legacy, we've got to get past our lifespan. And so that's why all of us end up setting up organizations, because technically they should last longer than human beings. They don't always, but hey. And in order to do that, you need to think about the structures and think about 3 elements of governance that occur in every single organization. And I've used this with lots of different organizations across the globe, really. And we start with here, which is the founders. So when you set up your organization, you don't have a legal term founders or owners, but you have shareholders, you have persons with significant control, and you have members. And then when you read your articles, you also have subscribers, and they mix them all up. So it's very confusing. But the key thing is to know who owns it. And the ownership isn't just about the power and control of the income and the revenue. It's about you being able to decide the purpose. So the owners choose the structure. The owners embed the legacy. The owners say, this is what I want to achieve with my organization, and embed that in the articles, and they write it down. Boring, I know. And then we have the directors. And the directors are legally bound to do 2 things. One is to do what is legal in whatever country, and the other is to obey what the shareholders tell them. But the only way they obey what the shareholders tell them is written down in the articles. So you don't put in your articles that it's important to be kind, and what you mean by it's important to be kind, then the directors don't have to be kind. But we can come up with other ways of controlling directors in addition to that, but we at least want to have trade and some kind of mission embedded in the articles. And then we have the people who do the work. So the directors are owning the 100-year strategy, actually, under the rules set out by the shareholders, and the people here are doing the work on a day-to-day basis. And the problem for all social entrepreneurs is you're in all 3. That's not such a problem, because you think you're in all 3 all the time. You're not. In each moment when you're doing something, you're in one. And you need to know when you're operating in each one of these spaces, because you have different powers and levers and control in each of these spaces. So this is kind of your ultimate power base, which is why selling shares is just not fun and not a good idea, because you are constantly letting go of power. We can be like Rachel and have a kick limited by guarantee with membership, so no one ever gets a share. So this is your first power base, and your power here is based on whoever else is your owner. So if you're a membership and you've got 3 other members, each of you is equal membership. If you're a shareholder, though, you can have 95% and 5% for some other people. Here, your power base is around the strategic directions, and you're equal to everyone else on the board. So you have to kind of listen to them. That's the point. Well, you want people on your board who deeply connect to your mission and you, but who bring you out of the day-to-day, who bring you out of this space, remind you of what you said you wanted to do there, and help you look forward. And then when you're here, you've got all that really boring stuff to do, like managing people, selling things, pitching, and everything else. And you will be in one of these spaces. And it's not only important for you to think about yourself in one of these spaces, but it's important for you to think about other people. Because the thing that I know about social entrepreneurs is people rush up to you and say, oh, I love what you're doing, I want to help. And they might have an idea what they want to do, but you need to go, oh, do you want to help me here? Do you want to own it? Do you want to be a co-founder? Loads of social entrepreneurs are looking for co-founders. Maybe they don't. Do you want to be on my board? If so, please give them a term limited contract on your board. Don't ever let them forever. Edie's smiling because I'm constantly on about it. Or here, do you want to be a volunteer? Do you want to be employed? Are you going to be my HR director? What are you going to be doing? So it's not just thinking about what you're doing, but it's thinking about everyone else. So the part that entrepreneurs are often scared about with boards, and even creating organizations, is the issue of being fired. So that's when the dance really takes off, and this is where we show your power, and Kim's nodding. So in that space, when the board is thinking about firing you as a CEO, you probably don't have much involvement. They just kind of go, performance review, la la la. And here, it's a conflict of interest, so you probably can't be in the room when they're talking about it. So in both these spaces, you're not actually got any power. So they can fire you, they can. There's lots of ways in running your board properly that you can manage them. But here, if you keep the power, you can fire the board. Is the nuclear option, you have to call it a general meeting, and it's not that easy. So I always say it's the nuclear option, and rather just think carefully, engage with people here properly with good frameworks and structures and governance. But actually, this is your bolt hole. And if you do this part right, then you tell the board what to do. They are actually on track and they will actually support you. And that is the governance stance.